Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Sister Ebonee Stevenson, and I am going to be your speaker for today. I am going to begin with our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, He that causes all that exists to exist, He that is self existent, He who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and He who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites as Amen Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansal, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims in the Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it is to Him whom I give reference and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the lost 13 tribes, born here in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flow through our veins. I greet you in the ancient yet holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. As I said before, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson, and I am the final speaker for the month of November. During November, here at Tomination, we focus on introducing you to our movement if you are new, or providing you a reintroduction to who we are if you have attended a lecture or in person or via social media. Since our founding in 1991 by our leader, teacher, and guide, Minister Rahim Kassed Aten, our co-founder, Omari Jahi Aten, and our First Lady, Sister Makita Aisha Aten, over 30 years ago, we have been focusing on uplifting our cities, our communities, our blocks, our neighborhoods, spiritually, economically, mentally, and holistically, including health and wellness. Here at Tomination, we believe in a set of rules, or a formula, if you will, that governs us while we are here in this flesh and beyond. And that set of rules or that formula is called universal laws. If you would like more information about all of the universal laws, you can check out a lecture done a couple weeks ago by our own Minister Omari Jahi Aten, as he gave a very detailed lecture about each of the universal laws and what they mean for us. Today, I am going to lecture briefly on the law and compensation and its importance in our lives. If you are watching us live and you would like more information about the universal laws or the law of compensation, feel free to drop your email into the message box and leave us a message. I said message box like this is MySpace. But feel free to leave us your email or your contact info, and we'll definitely get that information to you. And then you can always feel free to join us on Sundays at our location at 616 East 71st Street in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois. Please feel free to come and be fed by God's messengers. Now, the inspiration from this brief introduction to the law of compensation, it came from the great mind through a show that my mom happened to be watching, and I wasn't really watching the show. I was just glancing at it, and it was the Sherry Shepherd show. And on the show, her guest was Cat Williams. And I've maybe seen a couple of Cat Williams comedies through my mom, but I've never like been like a super diehard Cat Williams fan. And when you think about celebrities, sometimes it's the surprising or you forget that celebrities are real people too. And so, even artists like Cat Williams, they have to elevate themselves to a next level, just like us regular smuggler non celebrities do. And so when we talk about, you know, the law of compensation, and how this law plays out in your life, you have to understand that while you are here, black men and black women or black child, no one has power over you but you. You have the power to make changes in your life to improve your conditions. That is your responsibility of why we are here on this earth, to be able to elevate yourself spiritually, physically, mentally, and holistically through health and wellness. So back to the show that I was watching, and so Cat Williams, he gave this testimony about how he met Prince when he was 12 years old. And during this interview, he talked about all the things he learned from Prince. And it's just interesting. Like, you wouldn't think that someone like Cat Williams like had a mentor like Prince who showed him how to elevate himself. But the thing is, we all need a mentor. We all need a leader, teacher, and guide to elevate us and to take us to that next level. And here at Toma Nation, that leader, teacher, and guide is Minister Raheem Kaseraten. It doesn't matter, what you believe in. If you don't believe in anything, if you come here to Toma Nation and see what we're about, you will see that we have your best interests at heart, not just for you, but also for your family and the community. So going back to the show, he was saying that, he wanted to take himself to the next level. And he had a funny joke that he was like, oh, he thought he would need more money. He thought he would need to get a little bit taller, but he really wanted to take himself, his act to the next level, his art as a comedian to the next level. And he, in his conversations with Prince at the time, he told him that he already had all that he needed in order to take himself to that next level. And it's crazy because that is the same thing that we teach here at Toma Nation, that you already have all that you need to improve yourself. You just have to take that next step. And it works so much. Like, if you feel like, oh, I'm stagnant, I need a different position in life, I want to do better for my family, I want to do this, I want to do that, you really need to take a self-evaluation and look at the things you have positive going on in your life, and look at the things you have negative going on in your life. And if you focus on removing those negative things and putting more positive things in your life, like something we do here at Toma Nation, is affirmations. We talk about, how to learn the affirmations. And even our minister has a set of affirmations that he shared with us, that if you would like more information about, we can also share them with you, of affirmations that you need to move yourself to the next level, whether it's your finances, whether it's your health, whether it's just getting yourself, ready to not focus on negative things and get more on a positive level and elevate yourself spiritually. We have all of those tools available in our toolbox to help you and your family. So back to the interview with Cat Williams. And so after Prince told him that he had all that he needed to bring himself to the next level, and how it was so important for him to strive to become a new version of himself than he was before. And let's call that reinvention. Excuse me. So, as human beings here on earth, we should constantly be reinventing ourselves as we're going on to the next level. You should never want to be stagnant and on the same level, because what happens to things that are stagnant? What happens to stagnant water? It rots. It gets you can't drink it anymore because it's stagnant, it's diseased, it's disgusting. And so when you talk about yourself here as a black person, in America, as one of the original people of this planet, if you want to get to your highest level of yourself, you've got to be able to reinvent yourself. And so also in this interview, Sherry Shepherd goes on and talks about how, people really don't know how generous Cat Williams is. Excuse me. She talks about how he sends people money when they least expect it, and that people have gotten homes and cars and places to live when they've had like emergencies or things like that. That Cat Williams has done this, and so she asks him, "Where does this generosity come from?" I mean, it sounds like generosity because there's several celebrities out here. And how many of them have you heard of who actually go out and gives people money when they need it, or getting people homes and cars, places to live? It's several celebrities out here who only care about themselves. But when she asked him about this generosity, his response was so surprising. He said, "It's not generosity." His actual words were that he appreciates and understands formulas, and if something works, you keep working it. So what could he be talking about? See, Cat Williams learned early on that the universe has a banking system as he described it. And it's imperative that you make regular deposits in this banking system so that when you're ready to withdraw what you put in, that withdrawal is never denied. And then he says it's almost being too big to fail in earthly terms. So what he's describing is that you're constantly giving, and you're constantly giving of yourself and giving of yourself. So when you need something, you don't have to worry about your withdrawal coming back insufficient funds, because you've constantly poured out and constantly poured out and poured out, that when you need something, it's available to you. And all he's describing is the law of compensation. The law of compensation is one of the 12 universal laws that govern our universe. And the thing about the universal laws is that they govern you whether you're aware of it or not. In it, the thing about the law of compensation, it's stating that we will be compensated in proportion to the amount of effort we put in and the value we provide to others. It's such a fundamental principle that shows the cause and effect of the universe. And it suggests that every action you take, whether positive or negative, will have a corresponding consequence. See, consequences, that's that thing. And it's something that I've been talking to children about, that consequences have actions have consequences. And so when you're talking about the law of compensation, whatever you're doing in your life, whether it's positive or negative, it will have a corresponding consequence. And that will ultimately determine your outcomes in life. In other words, it's the common saying that you hear a lot: you reap what you sow. The results you see in your life are directly proportional to the effort that you put in. Think of it as karma. Now, I know this can be hard, you know, for us to stomach when you talk about the law of compensation, when you talk about, like, well, how does that work exactly? Do white people get compensated for all the horrible things that they've done to us since their existence? Like, is there such a thing as karma? But let me tell you, brothers and sisters, karma is real. And you really have to understand that if you think about how you were brought into this existence, that you were a thought on the Creator's mind that was made flesh, that you're here for a reason, you're here for a purpose, and it's up to you to find out what that purpose is. Some of you, your purpose is positive. Some of you, your purpose is negative. Who knows? It's up to you to find it out. But what we're talking about here is, as a black man and woman of America, your purpose is positive because you were sent here to be the the vicegerents of this planet. You were sent here to be over this planet that our enemy has ruled for the last 6,000 years. And so I know for some of you, this is a lot of information and it may be new, but if you're intrigued by what I'm saying, and you want more information, like I said before, feel free to drop us your email address and we can send you some other material. Or you can always join us live at our edifice at 616 East 61st Street in Chicago, Illinois, in the Grand Crossing community. So, going on about the law of compensation, this law applies to all aspects of your life, from your personal relationships, how you treat your family, how you treat your children, how you treat your parents, to your business ventures. Like, how are you in business? Are you a good business owner? Do you care about your customers? Do you care about your clients? Or are they just another dollar to you? Or how do you treat your employees? Are you a good boss and you care about your employees as human beings that are contributing to your bottom line? Or are they just a tool that you use in order to make more money? All of these things apply to the law of compensation. And it serves as a reminder that you and you alone have the power to shape your own destiny through your actions and your decisions. You cannot blame the condition that we're in on your actions and your decisions because of who you are and your DNA. You have the power to overcome what has been thrown upon us by this devil that rules this planet. You have the power to have yourself and your family overcome these negative things that we're bombarded with, the music and the entertainment and all of these things that are telling us we're less than human. They're telling our young women that all they are worth is their bodies. They're telling our young men that their lives don't matter. You have the power to overcome that. And you can do that through following the universal laws and through the law of compensation. Now, think about this. If you're one of those people and you have this I'm going to get mine attitude and I'm going to get mine at the expense of everybody else, what kind of life do you think that you are putting into existence for yourself and your family if all you care about is yourself? Me, 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 me. I'm going to get mad. 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 Forget everybody else. When you have those sort of negative thoughts, that sort of negative mentality, can you imagine why our communities are the way that they are right now? Because this is the thing, black man, black woman, black child, is that the only people who can change our conditions for the better is us. And there's one of my friends, excuse me, Barbara Pillow Day. She has this saying, when we talk about dealing with the devil of this planet, how can your rapist be your rape counselor? How can we expect the people who have gotten us into these conditions and who benefit, who profit off of the deaths of our children, who profit off of the deaths of black women in hospitals, who profit off of our pain and suffering, and whose forefathers and ancestors profited off of the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors, get us into a better position in life? Does that make sense to you? And so when we talk about this law, this formula of compensation, and you wanted to improve your conditions, improve your life, then you really have got to look at who you are as a person. Take stock of the positive things that you do. Take stock of the negative things that you do and think about how can I change these negatives into a positive? If you have this attitude of me, start to think about what about the next person. And there's I believe it's a saying or in the Bible. I'm sorry, I can't remember. That charity starts at home. Well, home is the people around you. How are you treating your family? And then to the next level, how are you treating those around you? How are you treating your coworkers who you see every day? How do you treat your neighbors? Right? And so you have the power to make positive changes in your life. It's all about your mindset. And so I know I have less than 10 minutes left. And so as I've been talking about this law of compensation, did it create any buzzes in your brain for you to look at your life to say, hey, I may be in this position right now, but it doesn't define my life. I have the power to get myself out of it. Only you have the power to elevate yourself to the next level. And if you want a roadmap of how to do it, always feel free to join us each and every Sunday at Toma Nation at 616 East 71st Street in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois. Now, when we talk about this law of compensation, and I've given you a brief description of it, I'm going to spend the next 9 or so minutes I have going into how do we apply this. So, to work with the law of compensation, and it's like in a manner that attracts or compensates for love and support, right? And so it says that you will always be compensated for your efforts and for your contribution, whatever it is, however much or however little. And so what is that saying? That's saying, hey, you need to give more of yourself. And when people talk about, like, and I gave the description of Cat Williams, as a celebrity, he has a lot of money. So he gave away things that money and cars and houses and things that people needed. You might not have a bank of Cat Williams, but what can you give? You can give your time, you can give your energy. Like, we have so many young people out here. You can be a mentor, you can show the next generation that this negative things that are going on in our community, it's not the only way to live. And if we had more people like our leader teacher in God, like our co-founder Minister Amari, and the other members of our nation out here showing our babies, showing the youth that this lifestyle that's been promoted by these devils as the only way that they can overcome is not the only way. The great mind has given us this set of rules that we can apply to increase our value, to increase who we are, so that we can move into this transition from just being basic, regular, smuggler human beings to be the true supreme beings of this planet. And I know if you're watching this and you're new to the Toma Nation, you might be like, what is she talking about? Well, if this is intriguing to you, feel free to reach out to us. And you're always welcome to join us on a Sunday at 12 o'clock at 616 East 71st Street to see in person about what we're talking about and be able to connect with somebody. Because we have a lot of lectures that are also online available on Facebook and YouTube. So you can look at these previous lectures, and if it speaks to you, and if it's putting something in your brain where you're like, hey, I may not know what they're talking about, but I want to know more information, feel free to reach out to us. And so, going back to the law of compensation, we're talking about increasing your value. So this is one of the things that you can do. Now, if you talk about how do we increase your value, now let's talk about if you're in a situation that you need to increase your income. The income you earn today, excuse me, is your compensation for the work you have done in the past. Like a job, right? When you get paid on Fridays, you're not getting paid for the work you did that day. You're getting paid for the work you did that previous week, or the previous 2 weeks, or those previous couple days, or the previous month, however you get the frequency of your pay. And so if you want to increase your compensation, you must increase the value of your contribution. And so this is what I'm saying. What are you contributing to your community? What are you contributing to your family? What are you contributing to the universe? What are you contributing to the city? If all you can say is, oh, I just take, I just take, I just take, I just take, then you're never going to be able to increase your value. And so you really have to think about that thing that I mentioned earlier about affirmations is a great start. Saying things like I am or I will. You always talk in that sense. I am or I will. So it can connect to your mind. And it has to be the thing about affirmations is not just one thing that you do one day a week. You have to do it consistently so your mind can believe what your mouth is saying. And it's also something that you say out loud. And if you would like a set of excuse me, if you would like a set of affirmations for yourself or for your family, feel free to reach out to us and we can share the ones that we use for ourselves here at Toma Nation. Because the goal of when you talk about the law of compensation is about changing your mindset. And those are all the universal laws. It's about changing your mindset because your mind rules you. And so you need to change your mind if you're able to step into these next steps and next steps and next steps of elevation, 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 reinvention. And so when you talk about the law of compensation, something that you can do, and if you've ever been in an MLM, multi-level marketing company, that they mention this a lot, fill your mind with success. So you talk about the law of compensation, read books, do affirmations. There's these things. It's a process that you do where you can change your situation, and that with your mental attitude, your feelings of happiness and satisfaction are also the result of the things that you have put into your mind. If you're constantly filling your mind with negative things, negative TV, negative songs, you're out saying negative things to people, those things have an effect on your life. I believe there's a saying something about the tongue being more hurtful than a sword or something like that. And so the things that you say out of your mouth actually do matter. And so you want to say positive things. You want to speak positive things into existence so that you can start to fill your mind with success. And as you sow these seeds of positivity into your mind, and they start to bloom like a flower, you're sowing these seeds that will help you on your next level when you talk about the law of compensation. Now, continuing on, it's this thing about, cause and effect. You want to use the law of compensation so that you can enjoy the effects. And so the main responsibilities of your life is so that you can align yourself and your activities with your divine purpose. Remember, I said you have a reason for existence. The Creator did not create you to just exist. That's not what you're here for. You have a greater purpose than that. Whatever condition that you find yourself in now, that doesn't define you because you can always elevate yourself to the next level. And so I know that I have like 3 minutes, 2 minutes left. And so I'm going to go over just a couple things that you can do. And if you would like more information about the law of compensation or the other universal laws and how they impact the lives of you and your families, you can always reach us at 616 East 71st Street or drop your contact info into our social media. So here's a couple things that you can do. Look for opportunities to serve others and add value to their lives or businesses. I talked about mentorship, but also volunteering. A lot of people say volunteering is dead. But when you freely give of your time to individuals and other entities, you're going to reap what you sow and get that back double or triple in the future. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude and focus on abundance rather than lack. Are you grateful for the things that you have in life? There's always people who have less than you. So cultivate an attitude of gratitude of what you do have and focus on creating abundance instead of focusing on what you don't have. Practice acts of kindness and service without expecting anything in return. Give freely of yourself. Give freely of your time. Here at the Toma Nation, we constantly give freely of ourselves and freely of our time. You want to always do this so that you're receiving more in the long run. That's the law of compensation. You want to release negative thoughts and emotions through meditation, journaling, or therapy to make room for positive energy and abundance. And you have to trust in a higher power to provide for your needs and guide you towards your highest good. Surround yourself with positive and supportive people who share your values and aspirations. Those are just a couple things that you can do when we talk about starting to practice the law of compensation. And if you would like more information about this, feel free to reach out to us at 616 East 71st Street each and every Sunday from 12 to 1:30. And then if you would like more information sent to you, feel free to drop us your contact information through our social media. I want to thank you so much for joining us today, and peace and blessings on you and your family in the upcoming week. Thank you so much.
Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live
every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
This is the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!